All right, welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Today is Friday, the 3rd of December, 2021. Welcome. I have my colleagues coming in, but nonetheless, we're going to start the show as they roll in eventually. So today is Talk TV Politics. Our controls here is Sam Gadu. I hope my guys will be able to log and be able to come in as soon as possible. Today is an open mic, but a lot of discussions, a lot of topics to talk about. I hope my colleagues will soon join in as well. A lot's happening back home in Liberia, and also here with travel restrictions, with the new COVID on the rise as well. Just another outbreak. But however, this is how we're going to start the show today. As you can hear the soccer song playing in the back. Lufa County, County Meet, County League is going on. It's about to start, and today was the parading of the trophy at the ATS, Anthony Tubman Stadium in Monrovia, Liberia. So that's why I'm cheering the Lufa boys, the defending champs. Until then, just enjoy, and then we'll be getting right into the show as my colleagues try to come in.
Ok, vous savez où des pelés, on est vieux appelé. Tiens, tu as slappé par ton pas craquer les volets. De all la chape, on va le guider, et puis c'est fait du passe. Ouais, on cookie pas là, des options, okay, you want you choose from me. Puis comme ma diate, pour fils, pour machine, pas pour la voilà. Tu peux me, il m'a tout pour ici, I got go for the boat. The men of the lose, they won't bang la côte. And I keep we not rushing, we discover the hope. We're getting on my game, I'm in a space too. And they cannot dribble again, il me fait pas partager tout. I pull a maybe on my back, and cause he face it attack. We keep the up on the trap in the water, inside and trap. The crazy system we playing, we got a fake in the fat. Lol. Oh, you can't see a team on us couple line it there.
Let's go to the play where they say we can go. Where they put, where they put. I was good. Where they put. So let's go to the play where they say we can go. Where they put. I was good to go, yeah. Where they put.
This is our time. Love our home. This is our time.
Power play. Power end up with victory. Day to day. Power play. From the go to the defender, pass the midfielder, carry the ball forward. Number, put the ball inside. It's a goal. Find a way to go, yeah. Jump up and go to shares, I call it. Pinda put up, come on, follow.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Today is the 20, not the 20th, the third actually, the third. It's amazing how fast the month is moving already. We are in the month of December. About 27 days to go, 27, 28, and sooner or later the year will be ending and we'll be in 2023, 2022. I mean, um, but today is it's going to be a fascinating show. As you can see, today is Talk TV Media Politics. We talk different topics and different editions throughout the week. And today, my three colleagues, they may be having technical issues, problems, trying to log in, but how be it, they can come in anytime they need to once they find it feasible or everything is done and fixed. But today we want to talk about a lot of topics. So it's going to be more or less open mic. We're going to have you guys be have enough time, participants, our listening audience out there, be part of the events happening around the globe, around here in the U.S. and also in Liberia. You can call in. We'll soon be posting the number on the screen because we want to hear from you what's happening. And today's topics we want to talk about would be what happened or transpired this week. It's still going on as we speak in Lofa County. We had all the Zoos, the chiefs and the Zoos, all the traditional people uh, assembled at the Lofa Bridge uh, with the demand of having elected Senator Brownie Samuka certificated. It's been almost a year, and that has been going on. What is the Liberian government doing with regards to that? Some call him a criminal because he's gone through the uh, court of law, the due process of law, and he was found guilty. However, there's a lot to it. You know, there's a lot to the story. It's political, as you can, those of you who have been following that story. But the Zoos, the chiefs, are all down there at Lofa Bridge, preventing traffic inflow. No one's leaving, no one's going in. Um, what do you make up of that? Those are some of the things we will be talking about today. Also, earlier this week, uh, we did see some interaction um, at the University of Liberia. Oh, here comes my colleague. Let me see if I can get him in right here sooner or later. Welcome in, comrade. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Sad enough, I'm not hearing you. Uh, I think you are hearing me, so I'm gonna use my second phone here to be able to hear from like our viewers are doing to be able to hear what you are saying.
All
Uh,
right.
I think that's what I'm gonna be doing. So we've been talking about some of the things that has been happening at the Lofa Bridge, and also all the zones, the assembling of all the zones and the chiefs, the traditional chiefs. You know, the government is made of uh, traditional chiefs, and these are people that respect culture. This is our culture as Liberians, and they are demanding that Brownie Samuka be certificated, even though he's gone through the due process of law and he's found guilty for misappropriation of government funds. Um, but he was also elected, duly elected uh, by the people of Lufa. He was given the access to go through the process during the election process. So also we'll be discussing a little bit about the saga at the University of Liberia, what happened this week. Um, Police, the law enforcement invaded the University of Liberia and demanded a lot of people leave, including the staff. That created a pandemonium on the campus of the university. So we also would love to touch on that And also, we have Christmas coming up, and we might be giving some Christmas gifts, not today, but in our subsequent broadcast as time goes by when we are actually getting closer to Christmas. Um, Also, we will be discussing the coming up of the Bar Centennial celebration. You know, Liberians are being invited all over the world, all wherever you are, assembling this year. I think January, no, December 14 or 17, if I'm not mistaken. I need to clarify that. Um, being invited to come home, be a part of home, see what's happening home, be contribute to the quota to what's happening back home in Liberia. So that homecoming is this year, and I've been in touch with the chairman of the committee. Sooner or later, sometimes this week, we'll be hosting the entire team on our platform, those who are in charge and running the affairs of the Bar Centennial. And we'll be bringing that live to you. We'll make an announcement for you all to also be a part of it. COVID is on the rise. Travel restrictions are being put in place. We'd love to update you on that as well. Um, County meet. Those of us who love soccer, the county meet is about to start. You know, Lofa is a defending champ. You know, in Lofa, and today was the parading of the trophy at the ATS. Who also would cheer the boys up, and that's why I had to start this edition with, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Kudos. I hope they will defend that this year. Where you come in? How you doing, my friend, my brother?
I'm doing great.
Another mother.
Yeah, just another busy weekend. At least the week has come to a close. I can be praying for the week to come to end quick. yeah, yeah, but I'm hopeful. All is well.
All is well. All is well. What do you think about all these topics that I just lined up? Are you ready?
Yeah, I think they are important topics. We can look at them. They are relevant um, to Liberia and to the future of the country.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know. So let's start it, man. What's your makeup? I know, but we will bring all our opinions. We have Kofa probably my login and Mr. Fasa as well. But nonetheless, time is always of the essence. We have to continue with the show. Um, what do you think about what's happening in Lofa County, man, during the week? If you've been following, we saw courtesy of Spoon TV, who visited, who went send their reporters at the Lofa Breach, and we saw the Zoos, the Chiefs, how to give a word. And 1 month, they said from now to the end of the month, the government of Liberia need to do something when it comes to the certification of Brownie Samuka. I know you might be coming in from a very legalistic standpoint. I know you've always been on that topic, but however, uh, don't don't forget that there's still room for the president to pardon, especially when the year is coming to an end like this, and there is enormous pressure being mounted on the president. Is he going to do that? Is it the right thing for him to do at this time? Is it even good that Lofa, being one of the largest counties in Liberia, has no representation at the Senate? What is the effect that Lofians are undertaking going through when it comes to decisions? Because no one is there really as a senior senator uh, to represent. What's your take, man?
I think the dialogue need to come to an end. So I understand the country devil have been out and the traditional people have been protesting. Now um, they have the right to protest. All right. So the
Right?
traditional people have their right to protest, and also under Liberian Constitution, we also recognize customary laws. So I'm not too familiar with the tradition, but I know that under the tradition to the customary tradition of Liberia,
Hmm.
the our tribes get a way of protesting when they are angry. They have a way of also showing their custom to their customs and traditions that they are angry. So I think they are also utilizing their own traditional system. Since they how to call it, the mainstream system or conventional system is not addressing the conflict the way it should be. So I think they are trying to use their own influence to see how the conflict can be resolved. But like I said the last time, and I think some people listened to me the last time, was I saw the opinion. I was able to read the opinion from the Supreme Court, and I have listened to Honorable Brandon Samukai.
Right.
Okay, and I saw the Supreme Court opinion. I read the opinion, and they affirmed the decision of the lower court. In other words, the Supreme Court agreed with the decision of the lower court, that Brani Samuka was wrong to have used the money. I've also listened to other people who said that Honorable Samukai, the president authorized Honorable Samukai at the time to use the money, and so that's why he used the money. The only thing I did not see in the record, and I'm still trying to see people to give me that record, is I did not see a letter from the president, the president of the Republic of Liberia telling Samuka, hey, or even meeting minutes, because this is not small money. If you're saying the president authorized you to use it, because I know the legislature has authority to appropriate funds. So if you are telling us that you were given authority to use it, I look at the record, I did not see any letter from the president of Liberia to that effect. So one of the things I want to look at it objectively. So Honorable Samuka is saying some other things, but a lot of the things that he's saying, they are not really supported with what I read in the opinion. And that's the kind of problem I'm having. And I know some people out there believe that, the statement that people make out there, it matters. For example, some people say, but why is it that the Georgia government refunded the money? Now, a lot of the arguments that are out there,
Right.
the way courts will handle it is very different. And I think people need to learn that. The way things are handled in courts, there are some things you can say outside, you don't say in court. There's a procedure when it comes to evidence. All right. So, for example, let me give you a product example. If Brandon Samuka said the president authorized him, now in evidence law, that's hearsay. Why make it hearsay? Because the president is not in court. Now, the judge will listen to the trial. He cannot just say, okay, I agree with you, Samuka. You said the president authorized you. So the next thing that Samuka need to do now, he needs to bring the president to court and say, okay, president, yeah, you come to court and we listen to you. Or if he can't bring the president to court, then he has to bring a record, a public record. That record has to be, it needs somebody who has to show, indeed, this was a letter written by the president and give all the kind of proofs. Now, I listened to the trial court. The judge did not agree. There was a letter that was produced from the Minister of State and Presidential Affairs. Now, the Minister of State and Presidential Affairs is a cabinet minister. He's not a president. So if you produce that letter in court, it becomes difficult for the trial judge to agree with you. And so those are some of the challenges I see with the trial. But if I were to be a lawyer on Samuka case, I don't think I would have gone to court. I think
Joy, help me on this line. Where I'm a little bit baffled and a little bit confused is, he was instructed to pay the money back, and Lufian's majority that supported him funded that and raised a huge sum of the money and pay and put it, pay back. And I assume he was also accused with two other people, and they have begun paying as well. Why Samuka? Why is it that Samuka is just the only center of the whole entire rigmarole here that's going on? As in, okay, you found guilty, but pay us this. Since that's the money, this is what the government requested, or the court requested, that you pay the money. You're free. You have your position. Why they accepted the money? That's where I don't understand. Now they're delaying his certification, but on the other side, they accepted the money.
So here is one thing people need to get clear here. Now, first, Samuka need to provide a document. I don't know whether the Supreme Court or Liberia can do that. The Supreme Court has no authority to do that. it will be unconstitutional for the chief justice of Liberia to tell Samuka and say, Samuka, okay, no. As far as the verdict, once the Supreme Court verdict is over, the judiciary get no authority over the case again. So I've been hearing people saying, oh, they told him he must pay some of the money and whatever.
Right.
And
And
no chief justice can do that.
I've seen press conferences. I've seen videos when that money was people making claims when the money was paid and all of that. And
Yeah. So for example, if the prosecutor so after the verdict is issued, the case is no longer within the court jurisdiction again. Once a verdict is issued, it go back to the executive branch. The Department of Corrections is now under the judiciary. The Department of Corrections is under the Ministry of Justice. So the only person that can make the kind of arrangement with Samuka should be how they call it, the Minister of Justice or the Solicitor General. And if they are making any arrangement with him, that arrangement has to be written in black and white. So I'm a little baffled when I hear people saying, oh, they make arrangement. No, because the decision of the court, now if you read the opinion, they were held jointly and severally liable. Now, whenever you are jointly held liable, it means you have to pay, all of you guys have to pay all that amount together before you are relieved of whatever conviction.
okay.
You see, so the Supreme Court can't go make any backward behind the whole arrangement here and say, okay.
Yeah, but the others are paying. According to what I heard, even the other two have begun paying the money. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even if they are paying the money, it's at the discretion of the Minister of Justice, the President of the Republic of Liberia, and the Solicitor General. They have the discretion now to make a decision. But the Supreme Court of Liberia has nothing to say in that again. So that's why people need to understand, because I think people are kind of feeling that the court can make arrangement with you after the fact. No, the court cannot be the judge and the jury at the same time. When you judge a case and you issue a verdict, the person is sentenced, that's it. The judge is all over. You can't go back again. Now it's the president of Liberia that can pardon how to call him, Samuka and others. The Minister of Justice, they have that authority now to make those kind of decisions.
Wow. That is very interesting. But the assembling of the zones, Mr. Fasa, welcome. Welcome, Solo, being a part of the show. I know we are busy. It's a hectic season. The thing is, I watched those videos with what transpired, and it's still transpiring at Lofa Breach. When it comes to tradition, those people, they have powers as well. Today I watched the press conference of at the Ministry of, what's the place that's in charge for internal affairs, that's in charge for the chief zone that represents all the chiefs in the country, where they demanded him to go to Lofa, and then he's asking them to come to meet Tobanga with all the chiefs and all the paramount chiefs to meet so they can break cola together and see how they can bring about peace. But my thing is that I'm a little bit nervous has to do with, is this thing going to exacerbate and end up in chaos, especially with what we have coming up? Liberians are coming home for the bicentennial. A lot of the other people, a lot of visitors in the country. Is this going to create? Is the government going to sit by and just watch this incident become an issue that will create chaos or bring about an embarrassment to the nation? What are they doing? What are the leaders doing behind the scene? Even though we have seen the due process of law where that is, but it's still like, no, I mean, Lofians have never given up. They are demanding that they need a voice on the table. They need to be represented. And I agree with them. You can't have the largest producing, or county in a country when it comes to food that feeds the country and all of that, that their representation cannot be taken so seriously. Where are the lapses? Is it from the election commission? Is it from the court? Is it been political? Why are people meddling with the lives and the livelihood of Lofians. Why are they doing that? That is what I don't comprehend. You know, Mr. Fasa, are you there? Can you hear?
I'm here, Sam.
Yeah. What's your take, man? With all of that Lofa Zoos, we see them all assemble over there, and you know, some of them are deeply rooted. They know themselves. They know what they're doing, and from what I got, all they want is peace.
I think the zoos has a point, and the people of Lofa County has a point and need representation. In the legislature, every county is represented by 2 senators. Lofa only have 1 senator since after the midterm election, which is not fair to the people of Lofa. I know this whole issue is both political and what have you, because even the legal systems, the judiciary system was not forthcoming. If they knew that Brandon Samuka was not qualified to run for elections, when the issue first went to the court, they would have made that ruling and let the election commission knows that this brother is in court and there's a proceeding ongoing here. Qualify him to contest the election would have been the appropriate thing to do. But the court was mute and did not say anything. And whether after going through elections, they are not involved, that they cannot give a clearance for election commission to certificate Samuka, which I agree, because if he was convicted, he's a convict, the law should take its course. But the court had an error in the beginning. So what is the way forward? Should they continue to hold on to it? Or who has a right to nullify Brandon Samuka's election? Is it the legislature, which Brandon Samuka have not been installed into? Or is it the election commission? Or is it the judiciary? So I'm here to research that to know. Maybe Joe is a legal scholar. He could be able to help us. Because the situation such as Samuka was elected, but he was not inducted, meaning the legislature don't have authority, to my understanding. An election commission cannot nullify his election because they're elected by the people of Lofa County. So what does the judiciary has a right to nullify this election, Joel? I'm kind of confused.
Actually, before you ask Joel, yeah, I'm so happy that we have two legal minds. Those are two legal scholars right there. Mr. Kufa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Congress. Thank you.
Yeah, and the two of them are legal scholars. They'll be able to help us in this area when it comes to Brown and Samuka. And again, I know we've taken quite a bit of time into it, but I really wanted to make sure it's becoming an issue, and I'm a little bit afraid that it would not end up into an issue where or it will create chaos in the country, especially with Christmas around and Liberians are coming home to celebrate stuff, because it's been a year. Is it a weakness on the side of the government? I know there is what we call executive pardon, and President George Weah can easily do this once it gets to his, where it is right now. I think once it's gone through the court, he can do that. He can pardon. Is this something he wants to do? Because I feel like where it is, that's probably the only way out. Don't you guys think, Mr. Kofa? Oh,
Yeah.
let me before you go, because that question was directed to Joel. Joel, briefly before.
Yeah. So there are a few things here. One of the challenges the election commission face here is that the law is so silent about what action the election commission takes. That's one of the challenges here. Mm-hmm. Another point here I think people don't get is that when the Supreme Court made her first ruling, the Supreme Court of Liberia do not give a advisory opinion. What does that mean? So in other countries, the Supreme Court can give advice. Under Liberian laws, like Liberia, a lot of common law countries, when you say common law country, you're talking about countries who borrow their law from Great Britain, all right? America, Ghana, whatever. Under our system, the Supreme Court can only listen to cases where there's real argument. So the argument that was before the Supreme Court at that time was whether or not they should allow him, whether or not he had the right to contest. Now, if somebody have a case on appeal, the Supreme Court could not tell otherwise. They could not tell you, say, okay, they could not tell how to call them, election commission say, oh no, our advisor don't allow it to run. They can't do that. If they do that, that would have been illegal. See the point there? So some people believe that, okay, why they were silent, they jail. No. As far as they were concerned, whether or not he should have been allowed to run or contest, they decided that was it. They could not advise election commission and say, election commission, no, they don't allow him to run. So that's the first thing there. Now, one of the challenges here, and I continue to say it, is that, I know some people don't like to hear this. Samuka as a person had this as a challenge in his own life. He had a decision to make. And I know in Liberia, we don't like this. We don't like to do that. But in many other countries, you will always realize when you have these kind of cases and there's a serious legal battle, the candidate himself or herself will recuse themselves. Why? Because they are looking at the interest of the country. They are looking at the interest of the people they want to represent. So one of the first things, I know nobody wants to accept this, Samuka himself needed to have recused himself, say, hey, I understand you people want me to have this legal battle. I don't know how it will end. So that was important. So the first thing that we need to correct, we need to be very bold enough to say, Samuka, hey, you knew you had this legal challenge. You should have really said, okay, I'm not going to contest this election. I will let this go and let me solve my legal battle. But Samuka did not do it.
What's your take, Mr. Kofa?
You got my point there?
Well, yes, even though I got into the system when the ball already started rolling, so I really didn't get it previous, but be it as it may, I know Joel just stressed the point that the Supreme Court does not give advisory opinion, which of course I agree with. But at the same time, one of the things I thought in my mind that the Supreme Court, because one of the, lawyers should be able to predict, all right? Predictability is important in the legal field. In other words, people were say, was it foreseeable that at the time the case appeared before the Supreme Court, knowing that there was a pending case against Samuka that was in the lower court. There was a likelihood that that case would have gone either way, and one party would have run to the Supreme Court for an appeal, for final adjudication. So when the issue of the prohibition for election or against the election of Samuka or contesting the election in Lofa County, when it came before the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court would have been, they would have predicted, it was foreseeable that with the current issue at the time that this guy had a legal battle he was struggling with, that legal battle could either go against him or in favor of him. And whichever way it went, one party would have run to the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is the only place when one party feels that they did not satisfy with a ruling in the lower court, they run to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court should have predicted the outcome. It was foreseeable that either party, whether Brandon Samuka or one, would have come to the Supreme Court for that. But then, moving forward, the Supreme Court ruled that, okay, contest. He contested, and in fact, I think there was another ruling that because his election was challenged at the Election Commission, the Board of Election Commission, and the board ruled in his favor, the losing party ran to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court held that, hey, we uphold the decision of the administrative judge at the commission. According to that decision, this man has won the election. In the midst of that, a ruling came from the Supreme Court that the man was guilty of misuse of public funds, theft of private property, and criminal conspiracy. And so the Supreme Court said, either you restitute the money, because the lower court ruled that, he was supposed to be sentenced. Supreme Court suspended his sentence and asked that he either restitute the money. And I'm not sure, as we speak now, how much he has paid, because he's supposed to pay certain amount to the government of Liberia and certain amount to the private funds of the AFL guy.
Yeah, but Mr. Kofa.
Yes.
I got a concern. I know all this is the issue of legal ramification and what have you. Mm-hmm. What is the way forward? Because I listen to Joel. Joel is saying Honorable Samuel should do an honorable thing by recusing himself from the process. I don't know whether he can do it at this time. I think he suggested that he should have done it before even going to the process. What is the way forward now for the people of Lofa County? Because we got to make a suggestion here.
This is the thing. If you, I can't really recall the article, but in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, all right, even if you were convicted, once you are convicted, indeed, your liberty ceases. All right, the privileges you're supposed to enjoy as a free guy, you can't enjoy those liberties anymore. But once you serve your sentence, automatically the liberty restored. So the issue is whether or not the Supreme Court, because the opinion itself just suspended the sentencing and asked that they restitute the amount. So my concern is, by restituting the amount means that he has served the sentence, and because of that, will his right be restored and the people of Lofa be represented?
So let me just give you some information on the opinion. So this was the opinion I got it from one of my friends who's a clerk of court. So just one or two sentences I want to read for you. This was the verdict written by the Supreme Court justices. It says, the sentence as ordered by the trial judge is therefore hereby modified as follows. Okay. That the appellants are hereby sentenced to serve appellants meaning Brandon Samoka and his co-appellants, to serve a term of 2 years each in common jail. However, the sentence shall be suspended provided the said appellant shall restitute the full amount, of $1,147,656.35, or 50% thereof within the period of 6 months.
Okay.
And thereafter enter appropriate arrangement to pay the remaining portion in 1 calendar year. Shall the appellant fail or refuse to restitute as stated above, then in that case, they shall be incarcerated. Are we there? Mm-hmm. In the common jail and remain therein until the full amount is paid or liquidated at the $25 per month as provided for by law. So you see that?
All right, so
it's very clear.
Let me hold you right there.
Yeah.
The opinion itself, when you look at the opinion did not say that, I may be wrong, maybe the grammar, but it did not, it suspended the sentencing aspect.
The 2 years, provided.
Yeah, provided they pay. And they pay. People raised some money, they made some payment.
Right. Yeah, but the opinion did not say some payment. The opinion said it clearly. It said 1,147,656.
Or 50%.
Yes, they have not yet paid that yet.
Yeah, but my man, gentlemen, y'all know that Liberia here.
Yeah,
I know we debating this thing from it, but you know Liberian thing, how it can happen. Yeah, he needs to pay. They all need to pay the amount in full. We understand that. Right, but he has shown good faith by paying a portion of it, and they took it. Right, so it's like a seesaw, up and down kind of stuff. They're pulling it, playing politics, and all of that stuff. Why don't they just get over this thing and fix it up and bring about peace? Or is we are two sitting by on the sideline to make himself, because come 2023 we have elections coming up, to make himself look so nice. But hey, the people are low far, let your man go, this and that, so he can gain votes. So it's all political, all of that stuff. But however, we've dealt a little bit on this topic. I want us to move to the University of Liberia. Issue that took place this week with the invasion of the police force on the campus of the university, because the faculty has not been paid for X number of months, and so they decided to take action to go on a go slow. And so this brought about an issue with the students, protesting and stuff. Most of you, I assume all of you, may have seen that episode with guns on the campus of the University of Liberia. What this reminds me of all the many incidents that have taken place in the past. What do you guys think of that situation? What happened at UL?
I think
Kofa.
I think the students, that the UL is a campus, and I think the students, they have the right to voice their concerns if they have problems.
Right.
I don't think the military should get involved except where there's real violence. If there's violence, I don't know. I'm not so sure whether they were violent, but if the students are not violent, they are not breaking any structure, nothing. That if they're being peaceful, I think they should be able to allow them to voice their concerns. And then the other side of it also is that the issue of the Universal Liberia protest, all of us, we have been here. It's been for a long, long time. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I did not go there to do my undergraduate degree. I always have a problem with that protest because it sometimes needs to waste 2 semesters, 3 semesters. So when I reason, I say, oh no, I don't want to go over there because of that. And I think people need to really get the university to run and be a university. I don't think students have to be protesting, going here and there before people can really cater to the university. The University of Liberia is there. People need to, at least make sure that the budgetary support that it needs to, she needs to function. They need to provide that budgetary support to the university. But apparently, every now and then, like somebody told me, they said even the budget that they usually can put there for them, they said don't usually receive it. So
right.
the university is really declining.
And that's why I wanted you guys to talk about too, because when the president took over, President George Weah, he declared tuition free. If that was a good decision or not, it's yet to be proven. But if you declare tuition free, the staff are not getting paid. Those of us who are here in the Western world, we see what local colleges looks like, and it's degrading to see the nation's #1 learning institution, the University of Liberia, look the way it looks, not fully equipped, and all of that, even the appearance of it. Thanks to those who have been holding it over the years. But with the invasion, I remember the days of Samuel Doe. I don't know if it was Samuel Doe or Toba when students were being rioted upon on the premises of the on the campus. And when I see those images of police moving in with arms, rifles, on the campus of the university that's supposed to be a peaceful learning environment for our children, our citizens. What do you think, Mr. Kofa?
Well, it is unfortunate and very appalling that the guys today that in power were the very guy yesterday that were in that same very fence agitating against the very issue.
Yeah.
To permeate.
Yes, like Samuel Twe
of the University of Liberia. I recall we have to demonstrate. That one, it was because of Aloysius when we were there. When Charles Taylor sent his men. I remember going down, that hill, Jalatan, that hill.
Go to Jalatan, right? Yeah.
Went through that bush and then hill in one old man under the bed. Yes. it was tough. But the thing is, the president came out with a pronouncement, tuition free. And for some of us, we kind of doubted the sustainability of that particular statement, whether because I'm not sure what the president was still looking, what was he depending on? How did he consider the size of the envelope? And he came up with an announcement that, okay, free tuition, go to school. You know, when Joe Biden comes up, or when an American president or other presidents around the world, when they speak, they are speaking from an evidence-based position. They might have done their background check and make sure that what they're saying to their people is sustainable.
And that they have the funding.
Yes. So, I mean, you know, there are 6 steps in policy analysis. You find a problem, then you define, you analyze, and then you come up with your policy statement, you carve the policy, and then you have to evaluate to see whether that policy is working. So what the president did was, for a long time, the university have been in a serious problem, so everybody free tuition. Are the taxes being collected domestically? Can they sustain the university? Did you look at the national envelope to see, have you identified additional sources of funding that you will use to upkeep and make sure that your promise to the university is kept, is sustained? No. So I think the president was still in his campaign mode. He has never realized that he was the president now of the Republic of Liberia, and he was speaking, and the voice would have been taken so seriously, not like a campaigner,
right,
power, but as a president. Right. And that is a challenge.
Mr. Fasa, what's your take on that?
I will agree with Kofa, because given the fact that the government did not do it on analysis to see the reality, to make sure that whether they were able to sustain a free education at the University of Liberia and other colleges around Liberia. The whole pronouncement of the president was political. Maybe he just went out there and had a couple of guys sitting around him and say, "Oh, Mr. President, he can make this pronouncement." They were not ready. They were not prepared. They at the University of Liberia, who got it from there. As Kofa rightly said, when Taylor invaded our campus, I was lucky to have just left campus 5 minutes before the invasion. 5 minutes before the invasion. So I was fortunate out there. I've just ended my class and I left the campus. So we know what we're talking. The university in Tampa. And besides that, even those who descend there as president of the university.
Joel, why are you laughing at us, man?
Yeah. Even those who goes there as president of the university. What is their interest in the university? Do they really have interest there, or they are just there at least to pocket something for themselves? You know, as a president, you have to have interest. And what connection are they making? When I attended a university, we're talking about a university of Liberia will have 6 computers at a time. So even now, they're talking about going online. They cannot have. How can you do online?
Yeah. That's not working either.
Liberia student up to now, some of them don't even know what is computer. You know.
So, Fasa, not to cut you off. I just thought of this, and I don't want to lose my train of thought. What was happening this week? What the protest of the students? They're like free tuition, free whipping, free tuition, free flogging. So they gave you the free tuition, but we come here, we tell you whatever we want to say, whatever we tell you, you go by. We're going to flog you. If you behave otherwise, we're going to flog you. We'll come on this campus. So, I mean, it was just sad to see people chanting with that.
I think, Conrad, I think what, I'm sorry. I think what the president should have done, and I think the charter of the university need to be revised. The university, in terms of leadership, should be, the leadership aspect of the university should be driven by vision and contact and non-academics. You can't say that unless you have a PhD, you cannot be president of the university. That's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
We are in this country, we see people with just JD, we see people with even a first degree or a graduate degree, not even PhD, that are president of university. Very, very good university because they are visionaries.
Yeah, but the issue with that, Mr. Kofa, is here the system works.
That's what
It's
we're
a
saying.
system put in
There,
place,
there
and the
are
people's
people,
system
there
work.
are people
There's
who are
checks and balances.
visionaries.
There's accountability.
There are people who are visionaries that can take that university to a higher level, yet they don't have the PhD, but they are denied because they don't have PhD. And that's where I want us to. I'm going.
I know I got where you're coming from. I think the issue sometimes not about it's not just about who the president. To be frank with you, conventionally, most universities, even in the U.S., most universities, it's very rare for you to be appointed president with IP. It's very rare. Now, if you have a professional degree is a different degree, like a JD or a lawyer. A lawyer is a professional degree, so it's looked at differently. But it's not so much about the academic credentials. Now, there are a few things that need to be done in University of Liberia. Number one is that the University of Liberia need to be autonomous, meaning it needs to the president of Liberia should not have any much influence over the university. So that one thing that need to be worked on, it should be purely an environment strictly for people with with the background. So one of the problems in Liberia is our university in Liberia is closely linked with the national politics. So that's one problem I have with that. Because when once it linked with the national politics so much, it becomes difficult for you to really run the school the way it should be run. So no matter who you put there as president, that person will always face huge challenges because the place has been politicized. That's one. Another thing I see there is that the University of Liberia it's not somewhere that should be how can I say it? It need to be much competitive in terms of the admission standards. I think they need to go back to making admission standard at the university very, very competitive. I think the number of enrollment at the university currently is too high. And I know some people will be thinking, oh, Joey, but you think everybody should not have access to college education? I really think if you want to have quality education, quality facilities, they need to streamline the admission process, how people are admitted. I think some of you remember one time, and I know people didn't like her. There was a little one that was appointed. She was in the US. I think she came back. She was frustrated and she came back. She was appointed as either president or vice president for academic affairs. And she was really, she left from here with her academic, strong standard mentality. And she really, I think she had a good faith in reforming universities. So number one, she was focusing on the entrance exam. In fact, that year, almost everybody failed the entrance exam. And she was prepared to enforce it. People did not like her because of that. Some of the administrators at the university were not doing the right thing. She was prepared to shake them up. People did not like that. I think it became a real political issue. People spoke against her and she withdrew. She came back. She was one of the very good talent. She's a professor in America here. She could come back and get her job. So we need to get the right people in our university. There are so many qualified librarians around the world that will want to go there and serve. But because of the politics, they're not going to go there. They're not going to go there.
Because the thing is, if you will leave everything and go, when you look at the environment, you feel like you plunge yourself right in there, you're going to get corrupt too.
Yes.
You either be one of them or you out. So I guess that's why. But gentlemen, let's move a little bit forward. Before we do, for our listening audience out there, I love to tell you that this is coming to you. We are coming to you live from Talk TV Media Network. We are broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, also on other platforms locally here in Tulsa, Green Country, Oklahoma. We are talking politics today. For those of you who are interested in talking politics, gentlemen, I want to briefly read this proclamation.
Before you move forward, let me.
Hold on. I'm going to move forward, but I want to read a proclamation with regards to travel restrictions. Then I'll bring you right back to that topic, which has to do with those of you Liberians who are traveling to across the globe with the new pandemic that just evolved, Omicron. Omicron, right? I
I
think,
mean,
yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
the case, that's it.
and let me just read it quick. By presidential proclamation, the United States is currently denying entry to non-U.S. citizens who have visited it or transited through South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Eswatini, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, or Malawi in the last 14 days, unless you are a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. The U.S. CDC recommends that U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents who have been present in one of these locations obtain a negative COVID-19 test taken within 1 calendar day of departure to the U.S., regardless of vaccination status. So those of you who are traveling, that's just an info out there. We'll post it on our page for your information, so you can have it out there. COVID is out there, and we just pray and hope that everybody take precautionary measures with regards to that. Yeah, let me go back to you. Why did you want to say so? We can move
Oh
on
no,
to the
I just wanted
next
to.
topic.
I
Quick.
just wanted to clarify. When I said that there is a need to move, to modify or revise the charter creating the university, calling for. I mean, I understand. Yeah, you struck a point, Joel. The politics is too much in the university. At the university is too much, and people think that they can, when they have the university on their belt, they think that they have the political process in Liberia on their belt. But what I was saying is that it's just not always the case that when you have a PhD, and I'm not against a PhD. In fact, I'm in the process of obtaining mine, so I'm not against a PhD. But what I'm saying is that it's good for visionaries, people who will drive the process. Most of our PhD guys that have gone to that university because they have the PhD, and that have been all, and everything is government. There has not been any innovation at that university from the time I started knowing. The only guy who tried a little bit was in my lifetime was, this guy, Dr. M. Dennis. Maybe he enjoyed the confidence of the president at the time, so he was getting the support he was getting. It could be, but I just want us to go, to broaden it and look out there, to just think outside of the box, and and look for visionary. They can have PhD, but as long as that man have the capability and can mobilize resources to move
and a connection. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with your point you're making, and like I said, if you put politics outside, like when before they recruited Emmett Dennis, they advertised that position. It was very competitive. All right. Now Emmett Dennis, he's a PhD scholar. He taught at Rutgers University. He's a tenure professor. Now in America, you're a tenure professor. When you're a tenure professor in America, that's no joke. That means you have reached a certain level. Now, there are Liberians abroad who have worked in academia. They are serving as deans. Some of them are deans or retired dean. When you are a retired dean for a university in America, you have the contacts. You know how the education system works.
Right.
So part of the advertisement, when you're advertising the job, not just about the PhD. In addition to the PhD, you must have all of these different areas. It's almost like Ghana. Look at University of Legon. When you go and you look at the president for University of Legon and look at their background, they are not jokers. If you look at the president for Furabe College, those are not jokers. Those are guys who have established areas, not only in Sierra Leone, not only in Ghana, but these are guys that have established career at other prominent universities. So they can leave from the university. For example, Emmett Dennis could leave from Liberia, come to a university in, for example, University of Pennsylvania, and a dean will listen to him. A president will listen to him because he knows what he's talking about. But if you just take any kind of PhD holder and making here at University of Liberia, he has not really gone through the rank and file of having a PhD is one thing, and being a professor well established in the area is another thing. So people get to mix it. Just having a PhD doesn't mean you can just
be versa.
No, you can have a PhD and be a professor and not be a professor. It's possible.
I think we are almost saying the same thing. That
Yeah.
the charter of the University of Liberia should be rewritten, and let us have somebody who is a visionary to drive that university. It's been too long, and most of our attended the university will know what the situation like at our university up to present. There's no change. So I've come, we all came to the West. We have gone to schools around here and we see the difference. And we find out that even our kids are going to school talking about kids in the what? Beginner section in the secondary schools have access to smart boards. People are still writing on chalkboard at the University of Liberia.
Oh
What do we
yeah.
do? Gentlemen, we need a visionary. And the whole issue of free tuition. How can you do free tuition? Uh, faculty
Can't get
faculty are
paid.
claiming that you have not paid them. So I think we all agree on the same system. There's a need to have a visionary and take politics out of education,
Take
and
it out.
let's see how
Yeah.
University of Liberia
Yeah.
can improve.
I think that's the underlying line factor right there. Take politics out of the education system in Liberia. Um, Gentlemen, we have I know we have a very important topic to discuss come next week, which has to do with the fiscal budget that was presented to for 2022. I don't know if some of you have had an opportunity to see through it,
You
but
have the copy?
I will be getting a copy and posting it on our page, and I will send it to you guys. But so far, from what I've been hearing, what I'm looking at, there's a lot to talk about. Comparing last year and this year and what's coming next year, it seems like everything has been double. If there's so much money in the country, for that matter, um, why is the country suffering? So those are some of the things that we have to look at. But for budget analysis, I will try to get that budget posted out there, and also see how well we can get one of our accountants or analysts come on the show as well and be a part of it. Also, I want to let you guys know I'm trying to get a hold of Dr. Kula. She and I talked 2 days ago to bring her to the show and the entire team. That is the team that is responsible for the Bar Centennial uh, 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 program that will be going on in the country this year and early next year, January, for the responsibility of bringing, galvanizing, bringing Liberians home. They would love to be part of the show, to be here to uh, create awareness for Liberians and friends of Liberia to be able to be a part of that. As a matter of fact, a lot of Liberians are already going, traveling back home. Um, so that would be a good thing as well. But Lofa County, Lofa County meet soccer is about to start. Going on today was the official parading because they are the defending champs. You know, they have the cup. Yay, go Lofa. And who knows? You know, they might retain the cup again this year. So that's why I've been cheering the boys up. They coming up. We'll be bringing that to you. The details tomorrow at 12 noon on the sports show, Talk TV Media Sports. For those of you our listeners out there, and also Sunday we'll talk about Talk TV Media Gospel as well. Very interesting, fascinating to be follow us, be a part of the show. Gentlemen, time. This is what we need to talk about. What your closing arguments? We'll start with you. Um, what's her name? I just froze out of my head. Mr. Bimba.
Yes, I just want to encourage people, the people in Lofa County to keep calm. I think Lofa is in touch. They should have somebody to represent them. I think the government has a role to play in this. Mr. Samaka also has a role. President Weah, you have the gavel in your hand. Do not use it to create disorder in the country. You can use it to positively reconcile the country. You could pardon Mr. Samuka. There's nothing wrong with that, and then get the country back together. But I think we need to get order in the country and not too many conflict around the country. Thank you.
Mr. Kofa.
Yeah, I would say, the the people of Lofa have come too far. I don't know, for almost going about almost 6 months now, for
Mm-hmm.
Lofa to be without a senator is so saddening. And it is the geopolitics at the capital is not balanced. The voices of the people of Lofa, the people of Lofa have spoken. They did speak ever since. And if the amount that have been restituted is enough, and again, I do not want this process to be, the punishment for Mr. Samuka should not be excessive, in the sense that, you know, if he have to restitute the money, let him restitute the money and represent the people, because he went into the process. The people of Lofa saw him as their son and they empower him to represent them. And so, if the president of Liberia is able to intervene by pardoning him, that will be fine. If the amount he pay is substantial to allow whatever the certification of Mr. Samuka to go into the Senate, let it be. But the issue of another election, for me, is off the table, because it's too much of money. There have been a lot of bad elections, and we need to rank our priority the right way. So I hope something will be done in the next few days or coming weeks or coming months, so that the people of Lofa will be well represented. And
Mr.
to
Fasa.
end,
Yeah.
I will urge the government of Liberia to revisit their free tuition policy. It seems that it's not working. It needs to be revised. If they have to do it progressively, that would be fine. But they need to revisit that and see how best they can do it better than what it is now, to minimize and mitigate the kind of demonstration that going on in the country and at the University of Liberia.
Okay.
So on the issue of Brandon Samukai, I think I would say clearly that this whole issue of Brandon Samukai is political, because there is a representative called Abu Kamara, who was audited and found out he was corrupt. At the end of the day, he made a deal with the government to pay his money back. And Abu was accepted at the legislature, and he was certificated, and he was inducted as a representative. So as Joel Ragley said, president should be president enough to see how he can unite this country and give pardon to Abu Samuka, so the people of Lofa County can be represented. That would be a magnanimous thing from the president if he can do that. And on the issue of education, take politics out of the University of Liberia so we can build our educational system. Thank you.
So Samuka's issue, before I let you guys go, man. Don't you think because of his alignment with presidential candidate Honorable Joseph Boakai, don't you think because of that political lineage, that's why things are moving the way they are moving? Those obstacles for him.
I think to some extent, yes, there's a political implication there. There's definitely a political implication. Like I said the last time, the prosecutors get discretion as to what cases they can prosecute. There's always a prosecutorial discretion, and I believe maybe I don't know why Samuka did not go for a plea bargain or not settlement, or having it out of court. That's one of the things I really want. I didn't hear his lawyers go into that. That would have been something good for him.
And I heard he had the best of lawyers too.
Yeah, he should have gone into that, but I don't know why they went into the case, because the father I read, I don't really see how he could get. They actually planned this thing very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, this is how we're going to end today for our listening audience. It's been heated here at Talk TV Media Network. Politics. We dealt with a lot of issues what happening in Lofa County with the certification of Brown and Samuka, also the stampede that took place at the University of Liberia, and We have other shows coming up, the Bicentennial celebration. Those of you who are Liberians, you can afford it, come to Liberia. It's going to be fun. Come home. There's no place like home. That's why we get to tell you. Liberia is not what it looks like, what others are portraying it to be. Liberia is a beautiful country. It's a beautiful place. Come and be a part of it. Friends of Liberia, come and enjoy that country, what that country has to offer. Um, so Liberia is here. Liberia is it's our business. Liberia is our home, and we can never forget about home. So come and develop, and with the dual citizenship now taking tracks, so that's even better for our viewers, for all of us. So come home and be a part of what's happening. Next week, we'll be taking on the fiscal budget. Uh, until then, the county meet is going on. We have to cheer our boys up, Lofa County, before we take out. We got to enjoy them, man. And gentlemen, don't leave. I need a quick meeting with you guys. Let's cheer Lofa up. The lion in town.
When the lion in the town, them no shepherd dog intend to popo. When Lofa Kante in the town, them no shepherd dog intend to popo. When the lion in the town, them no shepherd dog intend to popo.
This is our time, my home. This is our time.
Give me 15 seconds and I'll show you how.
Here, gentlemen, and our listening audience, thank you so much for being a part of the show, for being with us. Titus is out there who watched it, and saw Francis Temba. Thank you, Florence. Shout out to you guys for supporting us, for being a part of the show. And this is how we end it here at Talk TV Media Network. Until then, watch out tomorrow at 12 noon, which is 8 p.m. Liberian time, for Talk TV's sports. We say good night to you, those of you in Liberia, and those of you on the East Coast as well. Good night. Until then, controls has been Sam Gadu, Amos Kofa, Joabimba, and Solomon Fasa. May God bless you, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next episode.